Today on Time for Sharing, it's brew and barbecue. I'm doing a barbecue menu straight out of my new cookbook, Skinny Southern, a gluten-free beer tasting, and some sides that will blow your mind.
I am Laura Lynn Carter, wife, mother, businesswoman, and chef. My passion is cooking healthy, and I love to bring family and friends together over food that is good for the body and great tasting. Eating healthy does not mean giving up my favorite dishes. Never. I just reinvent them. This is Time for Sharing, so go ahead and pull up a chair. I've saved a seat for you.
You can't have a Southern barbecue and not have a potato salad. But we're not going to go with a boring, plain, traditional potato salad. We're going to go with my Cajun potato salad with sweet potatoes, andouille sausage, and a whole lot of spice. It's a rockin' potato salad like I'm rocking my t-shirt. I bought this just for this show. I've got 2 cups of andouille sausage that I've already cut into small pieces in the skillet. You're going to want to start with a sweet onion. Don't do a red onion. And if Vidalias are in season, please use a Vidalia because they are the best. I'm going to chop 1 small sweet onion, and I want it a little bit chunky just because you really want that bite of the onion. Now I'm going to add my sweet onion to the andouille sausage. And we're just going to cook this long enough to get the onions soft, not caramelized, just a little bit soft. And while that goes, I've got to make my dressing. And normally with a potato salad, you have a real heavy mayonnaise-based dressing. We're not going that route. We're going with a vinaigrette. Of course, with a little kick. I've got Creole mustard, spicy. I like Zatarain's, but whatever kind you find you like. 2 tablespoons. A little cayenne pepper. Now this is a ½ teaspoon. If you want to go hot, you can kick up the volume. Go for a full teaspoon. Garlic, lots and lots and lots of garlic. 2 cloves, minced. Now you notice I'm not adding those to the skillet. I don't want to over-intensify or cook the garlic. It's just part of the vinaigrette. A little salt. And then 6 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. This gives it that bite that we want. And I'm just going to eyeball this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Did that little last 4 a little bit like Justin Wilson along 4 there. All right, and a little olive oil, 4 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's all there is to it. Super easy. It'll give just enough flavor to the salad without overdoing it. And of course, again, no heavy mayonnaise, keeping it light and fresh. Now, I've got this just the way I want it. The sausage is all the way cooked. Our onion is soft and just beginning to turn a little bit brown on the edge. Kill the heat. And then we have our sweet potatoes. No plain white potatoes. And I've just done a dry roast on these. No olive oil, no salt, pepper, nothing. 400-degree oven for about 30 to 45 minutes, just until they're tender. And I leave the skins on. If you don't like the skin, you can take it off. I actually like the flavor of it. And then you let them cool completely before you add the rest of your ingredients. So our sausage and onion is done. I'm just going to spoon that in. All right, now that we have our sausage and onion in with the sweet potatoes, I'm going to add the dressing while this onion and the sausage are still warm. And it's going to soak up all the flavor. It'll seep down into the potatoes, and you really need to work it in good so that it goes all the way down to the bottom. This is such an amazing twist on the classic potato salad. And the great thing about this too, if you're doing something outdoors and it's hot, you don't have to worry about it because it's not mayonnaise based. Stir that in. Then we need a little freshness. I'm going to add scallions and parsley. I know we've already got the sweet onion, but I like that bite that the scallion gives. Plus it's fresh and crisp. About a 1/4 cup of chopped fresh scallions. And a 1/4 cup of chopped fresh parsley. If you're not a fan of parsley, you can leave it out. Parsley and cilantro, those are 2 herbs people either love or they hate. All right, 1/4 cup, and that's all there is to it. You can serve this just like it is now where it's still slightly warm, or put it in the refrigerator and serve it chilled later. And that is one rockin' potato salad.
Mike's Country Store now makes it easier than ever to save on a huge selection of farm fresh produce, dairy products, and groceries. And yes, top quality steaks, ribs, chicken, smoked sausage, bacon, and beef jerky. At Mike's, it's all about the meat.
So what is your guys' New Year's resolution?
My wife hasn't told me mine yet.
My New Year's resolution is to be more assertive, if that's okay with you guys.
Resolve to save money at Knight's. Save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliance packages. Plus, get special financing for up to 12 months on select GE appliances.
So what is your New Year's resolution, son?
It's the same every year. I wish I was adopted.
You are.
I'm telling Mom.
The perfect bottle of wine, whiskey, bourbons, scotch, and the largest selection of craft beer. Special moments begin at your hometown package store, The Warehouse.
Mike's Country Store now makes it easier than ever to save on a huge selection of farm fresh produce, dairy products, and groceries. And yes, top quality steaks, ribs, chicken, smoked sausage, bacon, and beef jerky. At Mike's, it's all about the meat.
When you're having a barbecue, of course you've got to have the signature dish. And today's signature dish is a Boston butt with a spicy barbecue seasoning rub. And this one is so easy to make. I like making all of my own seasoning and rub blends because I can control the heat, I can control the salt. So many times if you buy something on the shelf, the sodium level is so high that you wouldn't want to do it. And in turn, that will tend to dry out whatever you're cooking. So we're going to make our very own. And I'm going to start with a little smoked paprika. Now I'm actually going to do this Boston butt indoors, which is great if it's bad weather or the middle of winter. And the smoked paprika will give us that smoky flavor. So that is 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Then we got a little cumin, 2 tablespoons, onion powder, garlic powder. And this makes a lot. You can actually put this up and store it to use multiple times. A little bit of coarse salt, just a teaspoon, and that's really not a lot for the amount of rub that we're making. We gotta have a little cayenne. Now this is a ½ teaspoon. Again, if you like it spicier, kick in whatever amount of heat you like. All right, we gotta have a little sweetness, and of course you know I don't do refined sugars, so this is coconut sugar, 2 tablespoons. Does not have a coconut flavor, it just gives sweetness. And last but not least, a little chili powder. And that's all there is to the blend. And like I said, you can store this. It works for chicken, pork, anything you want to use it with. And you can even put this on sweet potatoes and make like a spicy barbecued sweet potato fry. All right, I've got my Boston butt. And this has been trimmed and cut to get rid of most of the fat. You want a little marbling because that's where you get your flavor, but not too much. And people tend to pull away from pork when they're thinking about eating healthy, but you can still do pork healthy. Now I'm putting this all over the Boston butt, and you're gonna have to get a little messy because you wanna rub it in. And the sooner you can do this before you cook it, the better. I like to let it sit overnight if possible. And it's just gonna soak in and give lots of great flavor. Make sure you get it all the way around. Now this one is ready for the crock pot. And it's one of those great meals that you can do even on a weeknight. You don't have to save barbecue for a weekend. You can put it in the crock pot that morning on high for 8 hours, and when you come home, not only does your house smell delicious, the dinner's ready too.
Hey, Laura Lynn.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
What can I help you with?
I'm doing a barbecue and brew thing with a gluten-free beer tasting and some barbecue, and I want to do Boston Butt.
Right, no problem. Let's get it.
All right.
All right, Laura Lynn, is this about the size you're looking for?
Yeah, those will work great.
Good, okay. Well, let's get into how you want them cut.
Well, what I want to really do is focus on leaving a little bit of the marbling to give the flavor, but showing how it can be custom cut to reduce the fat, to really get it a good lean piece of pork.
What about the boys? We got to get them something.
I know, you know, they're going to want steaks. They always do. So I think for Bo and I'd like to do a filet. And
Okay.
Bo's and bacon.
Yeah.
Probably 2 pieces the way
Okay.
he is. Oh, and the black pepper bacon. That's his favorite.
Okay.
And then I think for Chris and Christopher, probably some ribeyes. They
Okay.
like those. That'd be great.
Let's do it.
All right, thanks.
Here you go.
Thank you. I'll see you next week.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye.
Have a good one.
The perfect bottle of wine, whiskey, bourbons, scotch, and the largest selection of craft beer. Special moments begin at your hometown package store, The Warehouse.
So what is your guys' New Year's resolution?
My wife hasn't told me mine yet.
My New Year's resolution is to be more assertive, if that's okay with you guys.
Resolve to save money at nights. Save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliance packages. Plus, get special financing for up to 12 months on select GE appliances.
So what is your New Year's resolution, son?
It's the same every year. I wish I was adopted.
You are.
I'm telling Mom.
Every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer.
And the most common risk factor is being a woman.
There's no time to lose. In the U.S., it's estimated that more than 154,000 women are living with breast cancer.
It's the leading cause of cancer death in women in our area.
Talk to your mother, your daughter, your sisters, and your friends about getting checked.
On the 10th of every month, remember to call your buddy. Together, we can fight breast cancer.
The perfect bottle of wine, whiskey, bourbons, scotch, and the largest selection of craft beer. Special moments begin at your hometown package store, The Warehouse.
It's time to make our skinny southern sweet barbecue sauce. Now, you can go sweet, you can go spicy. A lot of people like to do mustard based, but this is a classic tomato based one, but it's got a little kick to it. I'm gonna start with 1 3/4 cups of water in my saucepan, and I'm gonna go on and kick the heat up on that. To that, I'm gonna add a 12-ounce can of tomato paste, not tomato sauce, tomato paste. Okay, and to that, I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, that's gonna give it the acid it needs. Then 1/2 cup of honey for sweetness. No refined sugars, here again using honey, molasses, sweeteners that just are yummy and delicious, but without refined sugar. I'm gonna stir that up just a little bit. You wanna keep the heat going so you can really break down the tomato paste. Now, we've gotta have our molasses, or as Dylan calls it, molasses. He made this with me one time. We were filming it so that we could practice and teaching him how to do the different ingredients. And he said, "This is molasses." And he said it so proud. 1/4 cup of molasses. And I love the richness the molasses gives. It takes it from being just sweet to really having depth of flavor. Now, that's all of our wet ingredients. It's time to add a little bit of spice. So to this, I'm gonna add a little dry mustard, 1 teaspoon of dry mustard. And now cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Most people think of cinnamon as the sweet, pastries and sweets and desserts, but cinnamon adds a lot of warmth, which really comes through in the sauce. 1 teaspoon. Of course, you gotta have a little garlic powder. So 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. And last but not least, a little bit more sweetener just to take it over the top. 1/4 cup of coconut sugar. And onion powder. 1 teaspoon of onion powder. So you have the sweet, you have the savory, you have everything coming together to make it a super delicious barbecue sauce. And no refined sugar, no excessive salt, just a whole lot of good.
This is Business Spotlight.
You know the saying, nothing is perfect. Well, that goes for homes too. You might like the kitchen and bathrooms in your home, but that doesn't mean they can't benefit from a few upgrades. But if you're looking to remodel, how do you plan and design the changes? What types of appliances do you use? Do you have to hire specialists like designers, carpenters, and plumbers just to get the job done? Pool Brothers has the answers to all of those questions and more. For over 18 years, we've provided homeowners with flooring and kitchen and bath remodeling. At Pool Brothers, we manage every aspect of your remodeling project by acting as your designer, carpenter, plumber, electrician, cabinet builder, countertop installer, flooring installer, and painter. We can take on as little or as much of the project as you'd like and make sure that it perfectly fits within your budget. And if you're a builder or looking to tackle your project on your own, we also supply remodeling products by themselves with a variety of cabinets, lighting, hardwood and tile flooring, and plumbing fixtures for you to choose from for your next project. Your home may not be perfect, but it can get pretty close. Let Pool Brothers be your design-build resource for your kitchen or bath remodeling project. Contact us to learn more.
Are you looking for the perfect hardwood flooring? Come see the hardwood flooring experts at Pool Brothers. Our designers will guide you through the selection process to ensure you get the perfect hardwood flooring that matches your budget.
Pool Brothers was really good to work with for my wife and I. They were really professional. They showed up and did what they said they would do. And we really feel like we got great workmanship and value for our dollar.
Come see for yourself. Pool Brothers Cabinets, Flooring, and Lighting.
I'm going to skip the classic coleslaw and I'm going to go with a cucumber salad instead. It's quick and easy, and the best thing about it is once you store it in the refrigerator for 2 or 3 days, it converts from a cucumber salad to some really good pickles. I've got 4 large cucumbers that I've just sliced. Now I'm leaving the skin on. If you want to peel the skin off, that's fine. I like the bite. And especially once it becomes the pickle, I really like having the skin on there. I've got these sliced, and I'm just going to place them in a bowl. You could even add a little slice of Vidalia onion to this if you wanted to make it like what my grandmother used to call a swamp salad. We're going to make our topping. And it's super easy, but it's going to give it the cucumbers the bite that they need. I'm going to start with 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. We've used this a lot today. 1 cup. Two tablespoons of olive oil. You could use avocado oil or pecan oil, whichever one you want to use. I just happen to have olive oil on hand. 2 tablespoons. Now I'm going to go on and add my seasonings and save 1 ingredient for last. I've got celery seed. And I love my little spoons. Look at these, aren't they cute? These are my favorite spoons to use in the kitchen, my little measuring spoons. These are from my friend Ruthie, she gave these to me. So 1 teaspoon of our celery seed. It's a classic in pickles. And 1 teaspoon of our dry mustard. And I'm just going to stir this up. I'm going to pour it over our cucumbers. Now we need a little sweetness. So I'm going to add a half a cup of honey. And a half a teaspoon of coarse salt. And that's all there is to it. These need to sit in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes to an hour, but if you do it a day ahead of time, it's even better. Our Boston butt is done. Now this is cooked for 8 hours in the crock pot. And you can see our dry rub that we had on here. We got some caramelization from the coconut sugar, and that really soaked in and gave a lot of great flavor. When you talk about fall off the bone delicious, you've heard that phrase before? Look at that. Now that would make one dog very, very happy. We're gonna leave this over here, and now I'm gonna show you how I shred it. Grab 2 large forks, or just dinner forks if that's all you've got, and it's just going to fall apart. You don't even have to work. Barely touch it. And look at that, you've got all that steam. Ooh. It smells so good too. I don't know if anybody would want some of this for dinner.
The perfect bottle of wine, whiskey, bourbons, scotch, and the largest selection of craft beer. Special moments begin at your hometown package store, The Warehouse.
One of the traditions in my family was a big barbecue on the 4th of July. Everyone in my dad's family got together. Aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, everybody. Great food, and one dessert you could always count on was a delicious chocolate chip cookie. So I'm gonna carry on that tradition, and today I'm gonna make Dylan's favorite chocolate chip cookies. I'm gonna get started with 4 tablespoons of butter that's at room temperature. To that, I'm gonna add 2 eggs, again at room temperature, just so everything bakes evenly. And a 1/4 cup of coconut oil. And 3/4 of a cup of coconut sugar. I'm going to get that started just to break up the butter and eggs. Now I'm going to add another sweetener and a little flavoring. 2 tablespoons of pure maple syrup. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now for our dry ingredients. I'm going with almond flour again. That's one of my favorites to use, and it makes the cookies so moist and delicious. I've got 3 cups of almond flour, and I'm just gonna add it slowly. If you've ever done this and turned on the mixer really quickly, then you get a face full of flour. So we'll add it a little bit at a time. Now I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and a half a teaspoon of fine sea salt. Now here comes the best part. You can't have chocolate chip cookies without some chocolate chips. And these are dark chocolate cocoa chips. So you're getting, I guess if you really want to think about it, you're getting some hard, healthy dark chocolate. Makes you cheat okay. And a half a cup of chopped pecans. Oh, lost one. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to scrape down all of the batter. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. If you want to ensure that your cookies come out perfectly, I always use parchment paper. So I've lined this baking sheet with parchment paper, and I'm going to use a melon ball scoop to keep the cookies all the same size. They'll make them prettier, and of course they'll bake more evenly. A lot of little kitchen tricks make things so much easier. And these are going to bake in a 350-degree oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. And that's all there is to it. And soon David and Adrian will be here, and it'll be time for barbecue and brew.
Perfect bottle of wine, whiskey, bourbons, scotch, and the largest selection of craft beer. Special moments begin at your hometown package store, The Warehouse.
Mike's Country Store now makes it easier than ever to save on a huge selection of farm fresh produce, dairy products, and groceries. And yes, top quality steaks, ribs, chicken, smoked sausage, bacon, and beef jerky. At Mike's, it's all about the meat.